Recording in progress.
Good morning. I'd like to welcome you to the Tuesday, August 29th meeting of the St. Joseph County Board of Commissioners. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First item on the agenda today is the accounts payable docket. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, we would like to recognize somebody who gave so much to Portage Manor, and that's Dr. Christopher Quinn. He made invaluable contributions during his time at Portage Manor, for which we are always going to be grateful and admire your service. You had a very compassionate approach to resident care and exceptional medical knowledge, and your ability to listen without judgment and to provide treatment plans has made a lasting impact on the residents and the staff. Your legacy will continue to inspire us, and it really says something that you've treated residents for over 14 years. We wish you all the best with your next chapter in life, and we'd like to present you with a key to the county.
And God bless you for all your help. Thank you so much.
Would you like to say something, and then we'll...
You have 30 minutes.
When I first took the job at Portage Manor, I remember saying to the nurse, "This is the reason I went to medical school." And it really became the favorite part of my job. And I've been in practice for 32 years, and I have done many different things in my practice. And I have to say, there's nothing I'm more proud of than serving the residents of Portage Manor. And I'll miss them.
We appreciate
So,
that.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does reside within the document.
Why don't you come forward and get a picture? And
I think that's all I need to bring, gentlemen. If I can get those.
I might need that.
next, we have appointments to the On-Site Wastewater Advisory Board. I'll open up the nominations. Do you want to nominate?
Do we do it all at one or just one at a time? All of
You
them
can
at
do-
one?
You can nominate for each of the open positions at once, yeah?
Yeah. Okay, the Builder Development is Adam Devon.
Go ahead, you can do all three
Do
of
all
them.
three of them? Okay. And the Certified Soil Scientist, Tim Manigan. And the Septic System Industry Inspector Installer, Jacob Oswalski. So that's the nominations, recommendation.
Carl can just close nominations.
Close nominations.
Close
Those are
nominations.
the yeah.
Do we have a motion to approve those members to the On-Site Wastewater Advisory Board?
Motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Along with that, another resource to the Board of Health is the Water Resources Advisory Board. I'll open nominations for those positions.
Okay, well, the nomination positions would be the Soil Scientist, Tim Manigan, and then builder Adam Devon.
If there are no further nominations, I'll close the nominations and open for a motion.
Motion to approve the nominations.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item is the Workforce Development Elected Officials Agreement. Do you want to say something about this, or? This is part of the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act of 2014, of which the mayors throughout the region, Elkhart, Goshen, Mishawaka, Napanee, Plymouth, Rochester, South Bend, and Warsaw serve, as well as the president of the Board of Commissioners from Elkhart, Fulton, Kosciuszko, Marshall, and St. Joseph counties. And this, what we're asking for is just an approval of the elected officials agreement. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve the elected officials agreement.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
I'm going aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Final item on the commissioners' part of the docket is approval of the Juvenile Justice Center Planned Service Agreement. Good morning, Bree.
Good morning, sir. Bree Roberts with offices on the 7th floor of this building. I'm presenting on behalf of both JJC and the Department of Maintenance. So this is a planned service agreement to the Juvenile Justice Center, and they have actually had this in place for, from what I understand, anywhere from 15 to 20 years. So this has been a long-standing agreement. We've worked hard to obtain a contract and get this before you today, as well as the addendum for the debarment status, and both of those have been presented. We ask for your approval.
Any questions? If not, do we have a motion to approve the Juvenile Justice Center Planned Service Agreement?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Moving on to procurement, approval of the facilities condition assessment and space allocation study.
Bree Roberts again. This is a hopeful award of this bid for, as you mentioned, the facilities condition assessment as well as the space allocation study. We had a evaluation committee go through these bids with a fine-tooth comb and put forth their recommendation for award, and I will read that as follows. Regarding the facilities condition assessment with an overall score of 28 points out of 30, the committee recommends award to DLZ Indiana LLC. Approximate cost as was submitted is $275,000 for this project. And then concerning the space allocation study, with an overall score of 25 points out of 30, the committee would further recommend award to Abbenmarsh Consultants, Inc. The approximate cost as submitted is $89,000 for this portion of the project. And the county is extremely appreciative to all the vendors who participated. There was a great turnout for this RFP, and we would recommend that you award.
Any questions or comments? I would just offer, personally, I think this is a great step forward for the county. We want to avoid any omissions or overlooking what needs to be done in this building and as well as other buildings. The facilities condition assessment will give us a long-range view of what our needs are, and the space allocation study will help determine what spaces will be filled in the future. So I think the commissioners, the council, the citizens of St. Joe County will be well advised once this work is done.
I was just going to say, I'd love to hear about it too. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I would like to add, President Baxmeyer, that this has been a process that's been going on even when Mr. Costelli was here, or the condition of this building. We took a leap last year and redoing the lobby, which looks great, so thanks for Bree for staying on top of that. But this will give us another projected what the cost to do this entire building, which is probably going to be a lot. And then that's why we're starting other places that we may end up.
Well said. If there are no other questions or comments, do we have a motion to approve?
A motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Bree.
Next, moving on to infrastructure planning and growth. First item is the consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve?
A motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries. All rise.
As he's making his way to the podium. Next item, bid request for the St. Joseph County Highway Department Capital Improvements Project. Project A, B, and C.
Thank you. Sky Meadows Department of Infrastructure Planning and Growth, offices on the 7th and 11th floor. What this is a request to bid for our project to, I don't want to say repair, but it's sort of repair, remediate, refurbish some items at the 3 highway garages that you noted, New Carlisle Garage, North Liberty, and Woodland. What we would recommend would be to advertise these for bids on September 7th and September 14th, with bids due on September 26th. There is a slight change to the notice of receiving bids from what you have in the packet. In the packet, it has a different location for receiving, for the contractors to obtain the bids. It's actually on our website, and I've given Kara a more recent copy, and this will be what's published, so they know where to go to get bids. We've reviewed this and recommend your approval. Any questions?
No, and just for clarification for the public, this is just advertising for
Yes.
the bids.
Yes, just advertising for bids.
If there are no other questions or comments, do we have a motion?
A motion to have these bids requested.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sky.
Thank you.
And moving on to PSAP, approval of issuance of notice to bid request and advertisement for the 911 tower. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Peter J. Agostino, Deputy County Attorney with offices at 131 South Taylor Street, South Bend, Indiana. So before you is a copy of a notice for bids for construction of a communication tower for PSAP. This is going to be a tower located on the old highway garage site on Cleveland Road. This is necessary because our current facilities are being served by a tower on a water tower in Mishawaka that at some point is going to be coming down. This has been in the works since 2021, late 2021, but we're finally ready to move forward. We had a few loose ends to clear up with the help of our consultant, DLZ. We were able to do that, and we're ready to proceed with taking bids for the project through September 26th, if this meets with your approval. And we have representatives here to answer questions if you need to ask any questions.
Could you have Ms. Toby come up and then explain how it's going to be beneficial to the county police when they're way on the northeast side of the county?
Yes, sir.
Well, you came down here, might as well talk.
Julie Toby, Executive Director, 58266 Downey Avenue. So this project was started before me, but this impacts the radio communications for Mishawaka Police, Fire, Clay Fire, and County Police in the northeastern portion of the county. If they're inside of a building, they're unable to make contact. What the equipment that's on the water tower, it's not penetrating through the building is because there's water in between it. So we have to relocate all of that equipment into a taller tower so there will be no more issues in the future. Did I answer your question?
I think
very
the
good.
fact that it's improved communication
Yes.
is really the key.
Absolutely.
So what that boils down to, if you're a county fire or police or the such, and you're way on the northeast part of the county, those officers sometimes would be at a call or in a basement, and you wouldn't be able to hear the radio transmission. So this is a big step that started when Andy was still here. So this is going to be a great thing for all the public safety people on
Yes.
that side. Even our EMA guys,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Any other questions or comments? If not, do we have a motion to approve the notice of bid request and advertisement?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
I'll go aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
There being no old business, we will move on to public comments.
Training camp is over, Mr. Caruso, just to let you know.
Not for me.
Okay.
Dan Caruso, 305 Compton Street, New Carlisle. Morning, Commissioners. Welcome back, Mr. Baxmeyer.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
I sent this email to the Commissioners. You should have it, and to the County Council, and I would like to read it. It has been brought to my attention that a hazardous chemical spill occurred over the weekend of August 18th through the 20th at the Ultima Electric Vehicle Battery Plant in Lordstown, Ohio. Thankfully, it appears no one was injured, though the effects on those persons who were exposed may not be known or understood at this time. The chemical of concern in the slurry is, and I'm not going to try to pronounce it, NMP. Attached, you will find, I attached the news story and a fact sheet about NMP. I don't know what lies under the 2.8 million square feet of the Lordstown plant, but I do know that the Kankakee Aquifer is situated directly under the proposed GM Samsung electric battery plant. I also know that there is a very shallow water table underground, under and around the site, with the waters of the aquifer visible to the naked eye in some places. I also know there is a thin and in some places non-existent protective clay layer over the aquifer, which will allow a spill of any kind almost immediate entry into the aquifer, the sole potable and agriculture industry supporting water source for our area and many communities located downstream. It appears that GM has entered into a long-delayed tentative agreement with the UAW in Lordstown pending ratification by the current membership, with starting wages in excess of $20 an hour. GM will also retroactively compensate those employees who labored, not trained, for all hours worked under the $16.50 an hour contract agreement at the tentative agreement wage. The UAW continues to negotiate for a single master agreement that would cover UAW represented employees and electric battery employees. The give and take by both sides is a positive thing. I'm going to cut out a little bit here. However, there is no amount of money or any form of compensation known to woman or man that would even begin to offset the poisoning of the Kankakee Aquifer. GM has stressed that safety is a priority, yet accidents do happen. We cannot afford an accident of this type over our liquid gold, the Kankakee Aquifer, and the only way to be certain that a spill of this type will not occur is to prohibit the growth. We must protect our future. I am asking the St. Joseph County Board of Commissioners and the St. Joseph County Council to pursue all avenues to void the agreement to build between St. Joseph County and GM Samsung LLC. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheryl Nix, Clay Township. On July 11th of this year, the three of you, Commissioners, unanimously passed Resolution R-16-C-2023. The state legislature allowed county commissioners the ability to opt in to a government structure as long as there was a unanimous vote. So what form of government did you opt into? A style of government that is essentially the structure that existed previously. Commissioners are the executive branch and are elected by district votes only. No at-large voting occurs, and the county council is the legislative branch. They create the budget and approve expenditures, and again, all officials are elected within specific districts without any at-large positions. Voting for the structure on July 11th, you decided that these will remain part-time roles. By dividing the responsibilities of running St. Joseph County government, commissioners and councilors are able to work part-time in order to handle the business of the county. Given that, I do not support your request for a 50% pay increase to $75,000 per year. I understand that there are commissioners in the state who earn that salary, but we need to compare apples to apples. These commissioners are expected to do both executive and legislative duties of their counties, and you opted not to do so. I supported the decision to increase your salaries to $45,000. I thought that amount was fair and justified. As a matter of fact, when Mr. O'Brien wrote a letter to the Tribune condemning the pay increases, I responded with a letter of my own and explained that it was both a bipartisan decision and that it made sense given the work being done. If money is available in the county budget, I support increases to the full-time employees of the county. As you have pointed out repeatedly in your brief public meetings, these are the folks getting the work done for us. Thank you.
Anyone else here wish to offer a public comment? If not, we will move to the folks online. Mary, I see your hand is raised. Oops, did we lose it? Well, there's nobody. Okay, I thought we had somebody's hand was raised, but doesn't appear to be. If not, do we have a motion to recess?
So moved.
Hello?
Oh, wait.
Hello?
I'm sorry, somebody's there? I'm sorry.
Sorry, Mary. Yeah, I thought your hand was up and then it went away.
It was up and I lowered it when I was starting to speak and apparently our internet lost connection again.
Sorry. Well, you're connected now, so please go
All
ahead.
righty, I'll start over. Mary Countryman, 52959 Timothy Road, New Carlisle. Multiple news articles, the Ultium plant in Ohio reported a leak at their battery plant. Ultium said none of its employees were present in the area. It was a leak. Per OSHA, it said it currently has 6 open inspections at the Ultium Ohio facility alone and 5 closed inspections. 11 inspections, and that plant hasn't even been open, not even a year? That's concerning. In July, the UAW released a report criticizing health and safety practices at the Ultium, Ohio plant. This is not a good fit for a business above the water source for our large area. And I am also wondering if GM moves into our area as they're supposed to be, against many wishes of the public. If they are sold or bought out, or the name changes somehow, will any of their restrictions, limitations, or rules apply to the new owners as what is in place for GM? I've been seeing for the shredder, which was, we all know how well that's gone with all the fires and accidents out there. They recently have been advertising for third shift operators. So, and originally everybody was told, oh no, they're going to have limited hours, daytime hours. It won't be a bother to the people in the area that live next to it. We all know how that's happened. So those new rules don't apply to the new owners because they're going to be going full force with third shift. So how lovely for that for our community. Please do the right thing and represent this area and the people that drink its water in this area. Thank you.
Does anyone else online wish to offer a comment? Seeing none, do we have a motion to recess?
So moved.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote? Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye,
Motion carries.
thank you.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.